Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly podcast all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg. This is
Mated with free food, Matt Strange, and this is
Stranded in the North, Muir.
why are
F's
you
in the chat for Muir.
Please help me.
He's had to go to Manchester as well.
He's safe because she doesn't listen to the podcast.
She may return at any moment. She's out walking the dog. I could get ambushed and attacked at any moment, boys. Pray for me.
Get your Manchester ripping in now. I'll start now. Look, all I'm saying is I lived in Manchester for a very short amount of time, and the very first time I went to the shop, somebody ran out of the shop with a shopping trolley full of stuff, stealing it, and the security guard just watched them go.
Now, I actually had the two nicest chavs in the world when in Manchester. I was fully gothed up about to go to a club, and they were the two nicest chavs I've had in any city when I've been on my way to a club.
As
you know, so it's
village boy.
Did you have a baseball bat?
Stang.
Stang! Oh my god!
People who won't know.
Anyway,
Morg is I was going to say our most gothic member, but that's not difficult. I'm incredibly not gothic, and Muir isn't really. Morg is like proper goth, like loves the Crow, sort of goth, the Sting look. So yeah, that's why we're making Sting jokes. He's very gothic, but
I have a feeling that there'll be more on that later.
More on that later.
So this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such you would need to know that we have a tier system on how we rank matches, how we rank the shows overall. We only rank the matches in Dynamite, the main show, and now Mr. Strange, through some medium that I'm not aware of this week, will explain how our tier system works.
I've gone with a nice simple one this week. I decided to have an easier one on my brain. I am doing the tier list compared to actual intro tracks that wrestlers use in AEW, would you believe? So, tier system, quite popular on some YouTube channels, comes from Japanese computer games and the Japanese school system. The more nerdy you are, the more you will know about the tier system. We work up through letters, ascending. It's not numbers. Anyway, we work up through a letter system based off the school grade system.
Do you remember your letters, boy?
Do you ascend or descend in the alpha? I'm just, intrigued. Maybe bring up the fact.
You'd be ascending up. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what order the alphabet is in. I want you to think about that.
It doesn't.
Right, so yeah. Our lowest grade rank is a D. A D is a bad match. We're bored, you're not paying attention, you've not really had a good time. That time could have been spent doing anything else. Just like every time I have to listen to Private Party's intro music, I could be doing anything else.
Shots!
In fact, it's being rubbed in my face. Now they shout shots in the ring when they're punching people. So I hate it. A C match is what we should expect to be an average match, a good match. This is one, you might look away a bit, you might not be as involved in it as you want, but the wrestling is there, the story is there, you give a fuck about the match. Average match C. Like Kenny's theme tune. Some people really like it. I don't really know anybody who hates it.
To be honest, it's just blank noise.
Yeah, it's just
it's a great C choice there, mate.
Yeah, thanks. B, we're moving up. B is the match which goes above what you expect as average. Maybe the story's exceptional, maybe the wrestling's exceptional, maybe everything's just that bit more above an average match so you care. You don't look away. Like Cody's entrance. It might be a little bit less relevant now. I've more on that later after I wrote this down, but Cody, even if you're not a new metal fan, he's got a banging tune that you get into. You've got to give him it.
Are we talking about double Cody entrance or just single Cody entrance here for its rating?
Oh, I mean, it's the same song. I'm sure if we had Cody 2 entrances back, it might even take the A slot, if I'm honest. But,
I miss him.
We miss it. A rank matches, match of the night. You don't look away. It's blown your mind in some ways. Story is great. Wrestling is great. Hopefully both exceptional. It's that proper eyes to the TV. I'll remember this properly for a few weeks and then think about it in a story context. And I've got to give it to Hangman. His tune is 1, cool as fuck, 2, I love cowboys, 3, fits his theme, and 4, he put horse dicks on the Titantron once for Chuck E. T. And it goes over pretty much anything. An S-rank match is the one that fucking blows your mind. It's that one enshrined in legend, the one you'll be talking about for years. It's the best one of the season. It will stick with you. It's 6 stars in the Tokyo Dome. S-rank matches are a rare joy that only just fucking feed you and you love it. Like fucking Ricky Starks' theme tune.
God,
1, it's banging. 2, it's got brass. And 3, every action Ricky Starks does as he's walking is to the tune of that music. He knows it in and out. After he showed up on Dynamite, when the music started playing, he didn't do anything with his hands. He just flexed his pecs to the dun, dun. It's wonderful, and he's made it a performance. It's S-rank.
I used to love this song until I heard it 12 times in a row. Just saying.
It's good.
It is good.
So there you have it. That's our tier list. That's how we will be ranking our matches. Now we move on to
Private Party's theme tune is shit.
Now, you see, now the other one I like is Joey Janela's, and I am saddened that Joey. The only reason I'm saddened that Joey and Sonny Kiss are in a team is because we don't get Joey Janela's music anymore.
I can't believe you didn't get the best friends in there. I'm disappointed, and I hate you.
Whoa, did you listen to Orange Cassidy's theme tune this week? They've added lyrics to it, and it's just like a man going, Orange Cassidy. Just
I missed that.
Voice.
I have to go back to that.
That's just the person really shitly singing Orange Cassidy over it. It was fucking brilliant. I love it.
That's amazing.
Right, time to get us back on track. It is time for the news. And again, not a lot of news this week. Not much we've managed to pick up on. I think the big thing is Renee leaving WWE and the obvious rumours that she will be possibly going to AEW.
That's a hard one, I think, with you, because she's like she transcends wrestling. To be fair to her,
what's her skill set? What does she do?
She is so she's not the best commentator. She's a really good interviewer, and
she's also
really
a
good
talk show host. She did a lot of their shows, so she'd be good for a talking head during like baseball.
She can replace Tony.
Well, yeah, she could replace Tony easily, but I'm thinking more because she's a good-looking female and they struggle to get females in sports roles like this, and she's really good at it. She's just going to go to like ESPN or something like that and do baseball or, actual sports.
Big dollar.
Yeah, carry on, Morg.
I was just going to say, to steal from the What Culture guys, they were talking about this, and they were saying that really wrestling is kind of beneath her now if she goes to AEW. But
as much as we love wrestling,
much as we love it, she could go to, like you say, the big dollar. She's a really good talk show host.
I'm sure Big Shad can get us something with his many football teams and stuff.
This is true. And
I've got to stop calling him Big Shad. Sorry.
But also, the advantage there is that whole going and working with your husband.
That is the other thing,
Like, obviously, Adam Cole one day.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're both going to be making big money. If she goes there, she's going to be making good money for the job she makes, even if she goes to AEW.
Or she could go to ESPN and just turn up on Dynamite because her husband's there, just be part of the show a bit if she wants to be,
This is true, because you're not going to get that WWE thing where you can't go anywhere else. Like ESPN aren't going to care.
No. Oh, no, she's going on some low dimes, Dynamite wrestling show. Who cares, as long as she's not ruining her image?
Nah, but the Khans should throw a fuckload of money at her and just put they've got like 4 football teams. They've got 2 football teams, an American
football team,
and a wrestling show.
Yeah, no, she could just work for the Khans,
Yeah, exactly, and just be everywhere. Go and do interviews. It's big time thinking.
Yeah. So moving on from that, social media. So we like to pick a bit of a social media for the week. Mr. Strange, what is your pick for social media this week?
Obviously, a bit of a slow one again. The world sort of calmed down, and we've got little drama other than people shouting about AEW's being TNA. But I can always be angry about that later. I reckon it's a good time to, if you're an AEW fan, to probably look into Evilise. That's at Real Evilise on Twitter, and Diamante at Diamante LAX. Because that's her old stable, and yet Eddie is somewhere else.
You would have known,
Get the feeling these women might have a bit more of a push and a bit more of a thing coming in AEW. And
you'd expect so, yeah.
I'm also going to give a shout out to Thunder Rosa, a wrestler many of you will not have heard of up until last night, presumably. She was Cobra Moon in.
I was excited to see her.
Lucha Underground. She is a phenomenal wrestler. She is the one who, after all the scandals came out this year, is founding her own women's wrestling promotion just for women to do things. She's great. And a lot of you won't know NWA Power. It's like 1970s wrestling. She's the champion there. So proper old school brawling with a bunch of actual luchador stuff she knows. I didn't write down her Twitter name, but just look up Thunder Rosa. She's really popular and really known. Maybe this is the start of us giving a fuck about women's wrestling in AEW. Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well,
So,
we have two of our personal favourites from our personal favourite show now.
Yeah. But
vicious.
you know, we've got to get good booking and all that behind it.
Ricky Banderas, who was Mil Muertes.
Oh yes, I forgot about
the championship.
What, say that again?
Mil challenged Cody for the championship. I mean, obviously that has gone now. More on that later. But Mil was awakened. So,
I mean, Mil coming after Brody would be amazing.
I'll be dimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the social media. Keep an eye on the upcoming women who will hopefully revolutionise this league that we have thus far been disappointed in.
I was going to, just mentioning Thunder Rosa, I was going to save this for later, but you do realise if she comes to the ring, but the Raptor is in the room, and therefore I'm going to have to mention it now that if Thunder Rosa, Cobra Moon comes to the ring, you know, she could be accompanied by the greatest name in all of wrestling history. She's giggling into
no!
Forgotten about this briefly.
What, you mean you forgot about Jeremiah Snake?
Oh, God.
That's the best fucking name in wrestling. I love it. That's some fucking Southpaw shit there.
It's so bad, and I love it.
So, with social media over, and me having made my girlfriend laugh into the potatoes that she's currently cutting, we move on to our review of the week. And we kick off the week with the women's tag tournament, the Deadly Draw. First match tonight was Big Swole and Little Swole versus the Nightmare Sisters with Cutie and Dustin. Nightmare Sisters win after Britt Baker distraction. What did you think of the match? Did you give it a score?
The Nightmare people actually had a solid start. The ref gave up on counting at one point. I noticed that when Brandy and Ali are in the ring, they just have infinite time. Like
they do.
We're talking like above Lucha Brothers amount of time in the ring.
That's unreasonable.
That's unreasonable. I did once again note that Little Swole is a young lion.
She is.
The first time Brandy saved the toy, I properly laughed. I thought that was quite funny. The first time Cutie went down and she was like, no, the toy.
That was funny. But then
the second time, it kind of took away from it. I can appreciate a joke without the joke having to be waved at me twice. I can see the humour. I am a grown man. And most of the audience should be grown people.
Or you have to do it 3 times for rule of 3.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was just
the match
it made Swole look like a geek, though. You know, she just got fucking annihilated because she turned around for 5 seconds. It's just like, that's such WWE booking.
Distraction finish. The match was, in my opinion, technically fine. I didn't get really angry at any of it. I didn't sit there going, oh, this is botcherific like I normally do. It did feel longer than it was. So it's kind of a C for me. I didn't hate it, but
I think it was a low C. I don't think it deserves a D. It was better than some of the matches in this tournament. I
gave it a C.
Yeah.
I thought it was serviceable.
For the AEW's Women's League, I think it was serviceable. Yeah.
And then the next match was Tay Conte and Anna Jay versus Diamante and Ivelisse. Diamante and Ivelisse won the match. What did you think of that match? What score did you give it?
Before we start this, Morg, do you think that Diamante is just budget Bailey, or Bailey that you have at home? Because that's in my notes.
No, she's not nice enough.
We've got heel Bailey at the moment.
I suppose, yes. Yes, I can see
faces. None of them have good intro songs. Nobody in this match has music that I like.
She's what happens if Bailey and Ivelisse have a love child.
Diamante, yeah.
Fusion dance. This match was not as smooth as the previous match, but it was fucking more exciting from the get-go.
This had what we call heart.
Art, yes. Ivelisse's flatline is great. The Conti hot tag was amazing. It was a bit clumsy in places because of the pace, and it picked up. Just because you've got a bit of clumsiness doesn't mean you can't be good. You can work through it. You can make things off.
As long as the match is fast and it's a little bit clumsy, I don't mind, because you don't have enough time to sit there going, "Oh, that was bad."
Yeah, as long as they roll through it and it doesn't look too bad. My results should be a C, but I gave it a B because of how much more excited I was afterwards.
I had fun in this match, and I've been struggling to have fun with the AEW's women's matches, so I also gave it a B because I thought, they've done really well.
That's 2. Morg, you're the women's man.
B.
Expert.
B.
Shit, son.
I had it C. I had it BC. I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't sure whether because I'm a bit of a mark for Tay Conte and Ivelisse, whether it was, and I'm a bit of a mark for Anna Jay now. And Diamante's getting up there, so I wasn't sure whether I was being skewed by the people I like being in the match.
I think they deserve it because they actually put in a lot of effort and heart into this match, and compared to some of the stale shit that we've seen in this women's league, they deserve a B. They've done real well.
Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was.
This was probably, if you're going to watch any, this was probably the one I would say from this women's tag tournament. This was the one to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Sadly so. I did say at the time this should have been the final, but here we are.
Conti and Anna Jay are going to be a fucking amazing tag team.
If you let them stay together and you let them build up this, we're, good-looking, heelish women team that they seem to be, doing on social media and everything.
It's like Shibata.
Yeah. Yeah. She just watches Ishii matches.
Yeah, you won't know this, Morg. So Tay Conti knows a bunch of martial arts, is learning MMA and stuff, but she's obsessed with Japanese strong style matches. So all of her punches and strikes are very Shibata style.
She doesn't break anyone's neck. It'll be fantastic.
Thank you, my love. I've been brought 2 cans of Rubicon.
Oh.
Have you crossed it? You crossed the Rubicon.
So BTE, or Being the Elite, what did you think of BTE this week?
I'm going to need guiding through this one because as normal, I have not noted it.
Person that wrote notes and was organised. How long will it be until best friends just murder Brandon? We've been waiting for it for so long now. I just need them to murder it.
I'm disappointed in the lack of Home Alone style traps.
Yeah, they needed Macaulay Culkin in on this. I'm so sorry that they didn't bring him in. It makes me sad. I think one of the most depressing parts of this whole show for me was when the Bucks went into the Walmart to have a look for their toys, and then when they were standing there was just a line upon lines of Ricochet toys. I'm just like, he should be selling out arenas. He's so good and he's so wasted WWE, and it's just like it just really made me sad, that bit.
He's got no promo game though.
He doesn't, but you could put him with Taz's stable and have him as world champion.
He needs a Chucky. Chucky can promo for him.
Yeah, true.
His teacher, his mentor, his friend.
His charisma.
Yeah.
I liked the Spanglish with the court system when the Dark Order invaded when she was shouting order. Did someone say order? And just slid that thing in. My favourite bit, because I don't know, it just tickled me as an old fart, I guess, was Chris Daniels going about a poison mortgage for when you're older instead of a reverse mortgage. That fucking ruined me.
So true, though. That is what those adverts are.
The best quote of the night was, "I don't think WWE will let us have an Orton match to put him to sleep." Because they're talking about boring things.
Orton.
Yeah.
Yes, the Orton the Orton quip.
You see, I'm gonna have to jump in here because me and Nick have a strange love for Randy Orton. I
love Randy Orton. The man that does no work and gets paid fucking tons.
And all he does is shit post on the internet. And if everybody shit posts him, he just laughs at it because he doesn't give a fuck because he's rich, healthy, attractive. I believe his missus is attractive. You know, he don't give a fuck.
He does little work. He has no chance of injuring himself in the ring. He's the smartest worker in modern wrestling.
And he's incredibly based.
Apparently, his feud with Drew McIntyre has been really good.
With Ric Flair and that stuff.
Yeah, apparently it's been, again, this is going because I generally watch Simon from What Culture's reviews of Raw. Ups and downs. And yeah, he's been giving it, I know he's very positive, but he's been giving it the thumbs up. And it's looking like currently they might actually be booking Drew well.
They have been booking Drew well after they've got rid of Paulie. But
hi everybody, welcome to our WWE podcast today.
But anyway, it just shows that WWE can still book a face sometimes. But anyway, let's carry on. I love Silver ripping into Avalon. Just Silver being the alpha for once fucking made me laugh.
Brilliant. And then with Brandon on the cam. I'm right here.
I can still see you. Yeah, no, that was great.
So yeah, it was an all right show. It was pretty good.
Fine. It didn't stand out as anything amazing. We got a Scotty Goldman joke at the end. That's Coleman's original name. Hilarious. Yeah, solid. I mean, I didn't remember enough without Nick's help for me to go, wow. But now
I think it was a C.
Yeah, sensible chuckle level. Good times.
Uno not being able to throw paper was funny though, as well.
Yeah.
Oh God. Come on, Tony.
I did him afterwards.
So, moving on, now we come to Dark, which was an hour and a half this week. I've actually got a couple of notes on a couple of the matches here, so you can tell there was something in it. But overall, what did you think of Dark? What score did you give it? What did you think of it?
God, it was a drag for me, boys. I'm not
going to go with the speed through.
I watched it in 2 halves. That's what I would say.
That's probably the smartest way to have watched it. Let's speed through it. Michael Nakazawa versus Kip.
Cowards. Do it in one go. I want Kip to get a push. The pants joke is overdone.
Yeah.
Didn't care, didn't hate it.
Waste
it was
of Kip.
there. Yeah. That was a match that was there.
Then we had Sean Dean, Frank Stone versus Kiss and Joey. I don't care for this. Whenever Kiss and Joey are against someone that's a jobber, they give nothing to them. They just make them look shit.
And they did better for a little while, and I do think Dean and Stone deserved better than what they got. Janela and Sonny's combo moves are getting better, because I criticised those for being clumsy as shit at the start. And the Jobbers did a cool double team move, I don't remember what it was. Once again, fine, didn't care.
Starks, good promo. Ricky, standard, you know.
Oh, Starks was brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm too handsome to be hardcore. I don't need to be John or Judas. Oh,
it was great.
Miss Hobbs versus Spears.
Yeah.
I still really like Spears, and I think Spears knows how to have a good, slower paced match.
Did Lynn work? I think Spears is in like a holding flight point for like a month or 2 until they need him to push him back up. I just don't think they have enough space for him on the main roster at the moment.
Yeah, he never squashes people though. No. All of his matches give, and generally. Spears matches, he goes in confident, he gets some hits, he tries to slow it, he gets hit a bit, he tries to slow it down, he goes in, he gets hit again, he loses his temper, he fights back, does something cheaty and wins. And I'm down with it, it works.
As long as you give your jobber something, just so they don't look shit, then it's good.
Yeah, and especially Hobbs,
Hobbs needs protecting, like, we love Hobbs.
The Initiative versus TH2. Fucking Jack Evans saying you need the Alpha Chad brought me.
That's my first note.
Mate, he's from the internet.
Yeah.
I want another Initiative TH2 match after
They
this.
are good.
I really enjoyed this match and thought there was great chemistry between both of these teams.
Can't believe they were damaging that third Ed book. Just to how valuable that is.
I know.
Please, I've got like 7 back.
I know you do.
If we're gonna go nerd, when Exalted was released, you could exchange spare PHBs from 3rd edition for an Exalted rulebook, and I got 3 of them. Little hint of how nerdy I am. People out there actually understands what that means. Match was cool. It's gonna sound picky. I could have done with a couple of less continuously rolling sequences at some points. But I did know that Avalon's bouncing fucking moonsault is one of the coolest things ever. How when he's at the corner and he drops and bounces, it's just great.
Well, we've always said that Brandon and Avalon are wasted in this. They're a lot better than just being the jobbers, but they seem to love themselves doing it. So
the problem is, it's one of the things I think that makes them so great is the fact they are this team that keeps losing.
But they're really good.
They're really good. They just can't get that win. I think my only small thing is I think I would rather be watching them against the top tier teams every week than the mid tier teams.
They're at least you a build up to go somewhere,
As I said, I think you need a crowd. You need a crowd for their first win.
Oh God, yes. We got to save that. So, Cake versus Zombies.
She's a cake.
Cake versus Zombie.
I still fucking love it. Velvet's got great taunting. Go on.
Yeah, I've got notes for this.
Okay, go on then.
I'm going to empty myself first because Morg is more of our balancer person for the women's. Yeah. Velvet's taunting, like when she had a foot on fucking Abaddon's neck in the corner, was great. And she looked at the camera and stuff. Abaddon's got a great headbutt, and I normally really criticize headbutts from wrestlers. I think it looks shit. Velvet sells like shit. Where was Velvet during the tag team tournament?
That is what I wanted to bring up. Why wasn't she used?
The Cemetery Drive is a fucking cool finisher. Looked badass. I really like this match.
I had great fun.
Abaddon's getting a lot better. A lot of the criticisms we had when she came back after her first initial squash match, she was a bit clumsy and a bit weaker in some areas. Polished through. She worked really well with Velvet. I had a great time.
I love Abaddon's character. She was in character for the whole time. It was a good squash match because it was effectively a squash match. And I loved Abaddon's no sell. She is definitely your female Undertaker in character, not necessarily in in that stature, but she's got that character. Do not fuck this up. I don't care who she's going up against. I don't care if it's a babyface Nyla Rose. I want Nyla crying in a fucking corner when Abaddon comes out.
You need Yuka. Yuka would be the best for selling that because she's so good.
Do not fuck this up now. No. That character, she'd have sold like fuck for her, and she's your women's champion and is probably one of your top. She is one of your top 3 on the roster. And when she faced her in that first match, she'd have sold like fuck for her just facially, and you need to keep that up. I know we've been quite high on Abaddon, but I really think you've got something with that character because she's different.
We also need to say that at least Velvet seems to know how to work. I don't understand why she wasn't used because she actually seemed to know how to work, which quite a few of the lasses in the Deadly Draw didn't. So
I would have preferred to have her than Rochelle Chanel.
Oh yeah, 100%, mate.
Oh God. One of them can wrestle and does good taunts and gimmicks in the ring. The other one, I want to hunt down and drown. Not really. I don't mean that really in current WWE situation with women's wrestlers. I'm in the wrong country. I'm very lazy. I have a fiance.
Right. Let's carry on.
But I think the one problem you do have very quickly is that Red Velvet is very much a babyface. I think she could play heel because she could play that, but you don't need another pretty snotty heel.
No, we got enough of them.
I think that she was really good, sort of almost facing that. Yes. So moving on.
Dark Order versus Jobbers. The Jobber team was beautiful. I've seen Ryzan before.
That was ludicrous. I loved them.
In his match with Matt Hardy, had a bunch. Then you had the guy who looked like, I don't know, a fucking disco centurion.
They look like the people that you would meet in a Fallout game. That's what they look like.
I thought they looked like Mantar followers.
I loved them.
It was a beautiful team. Colt not liking the healing was a bit weird. I don't know if I think the match was fine. I wasn't quite sure on what was going on, if we're building up to the Dark Order split with Brody. With my predicted conspiracy, Brody takes the good people, Kenny joins them, have special elite ones, Stu Grayson, fucking original Dark Order, and the Beaver Boys go off and become their own stable. That's my mental predictions. Maybe I'll talk about that later.
I think we might be leading to Brody versus Colt. I liked Colt not liking the heel work because he's still officially a babyface.
Yeah, but he's always done lots of heelish shit in his matches.
He's always been a little twat, though.
No, he's twatty, but he is a babyface.
Yeah, okay. There's a.
I think we're going to be neutral.
He doesn't break rules. He's just a bit of a twat heel.
It's a hard one, Mark.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. I think slamming your opponent's face into your tag team partner's boot on the turnbuckle is a fairly standard thing that all wrestlers do, not really a heelish action that would distract you from the match.
Yeah, rules.
Rules. Right, let's move on. Lee Johnson versus Starks. One more, Muir, you were going to speak.
Yeah, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I loved Taz's building up of Starks. I thought Starks was making Lee look really good in that match. It was really nice to see that the job was getting a good run at it. So I really enjoyed this match.
I mean, Ricky Starks' finisher is super powerful because he spent most of that match getting battered and not really hitting Lee. And then he did his finisher and it was over. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just an observation.
Yeah,
it was fine. Good match, in my opinion. Nothing mind-blowing. Morg?
Yeah, much the same. It was good. This was the match that I restarted on. So my halfway point was just before this match. So this was the one I opened with on the second half of my watching.
Then Wardlow came out topless to get Lee to put a badge on his dick.
That was real weird.
Why was he topless? Why did he have to put a badge on his dick?
It's part of the MJF cult. You got to have a badge on your dick.
It was just a bit weird for me. I was like, oh, this is... I mean, I assume Wardlow's like Trent and is just always topless, but Trent came out in a shirt this week for the first time ever, so my mind's kind of blown.
I didn't know Trent owned shirts.
Mate.
If I looked like Trent or Wardlow, I would walk around topless a lot more time.
Me neither, mate. Me neither.
Around flexing.
Yeah.
Donati and Baron Black versus Proud and the Powerful. I say this every time. Donati's tune is a fucking banger, and I love it. Proud and Powerful are great. The match was too short.
Yeah, it just sort of ended, didn't it?
And that's all I've got on it.
I've got very few notes from here on. It's just, I started to wane at this point.
I'm still powerful at this point.
Oh, look at you!
We're making it to the best match of the night in a couple of matches.
Yeah, fair.
I assume you have nothing to say about the Proud and the Powerful match, more because there was nothing there to say about it.
Yeah, it was Proud and Powerful. I like them. I think they're great. They're a good couple of heels. They're good thugs. It was all right. Yeah.
Lance versus two jobbers versus one half of Serpentico.
Sorry.
Now, this is an idea we said a while back that maybe the big guys should have 2-on-1 matches. And, if you want to show them as beasts.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. I like the premise. I liked Lance choke slamming the man into the other man when he was in the neck thing. I was more distracted by Jake's incredibly terrible shirt and wondering if Jake had anything written on him under it today.
He probably did, but his teeth wasn't distracting you for once, so that's something.
No, that shirt, though, it had like 3 separate rectangles of like snake skin.
Yes,
and then I was like, has Lance written everybody dies under it and told him to put a shirt back on again?
Every day.
Every day.
You're a detractor of Lance, Morg. What do you think?
It was all right. I preferred the premise of the 2 versus 1. It's an old thing. It was all right. I just want to see more from Lance. I need another feud like a Cody. I need him against somebody like Mox or Darby Allin, somebody that I can believe has a chance against him.
You need someone with stats to fight him.
Yeah, but I also need some more mid-carders to have good matches with him. Someone like a Colt again, but I think he's already gone through Colt. But somebody like that sort of
I get you.
Mid-level baby face. I'd like to see him, and then maybe run up against somebody like Hangman. That's a better option because we don't have a monster baby face other than Luchasaurus, but he's not high enough up the card, unfortunately.
Luchasaurus couldn't. I think he needs a tag.
Round things out. I don't mean that in a bad way. Great wrestler, but he's just not quite that guy on the mic, especially with the Luchasaurus gimmick. But yeah, no, Lance needs an opponent that will. You can squash all the shit people in the world. It doesn't make you look badass, basically. And feud sell things. Well, we'll discuss this later on how to use a big man, I suppose. Match of the night. 5 versus Billy.
Really? Okay.
What was your match of the night? It was good fun. I enjoyed it.
I loved this. I didn't know how this was going to... I did not know who was going to win going in. Probably Billy, don't get me wrong. And then it started with Billy on his knees doing the fucking Dark Order thing.
That made me piss. I loved it. When he was still the same height as 5.
It was a bit one-sided otherwise, don't get me wrong, but Billy's got his gimmick. But at one point, Billy did this slam on 5, and 5 went up in the air, and Billy sort of threw him up and let go for 3 seconds. He was just in the air, and as he came down, he put his hand on him and just hurtled him into the floor. It was like a fucking Dragon Ball Z move. I shouted "fuck" out loud at that slam.
It was a good slam.
Just a really good fun match. I like Austin. I like Billy. I like their stuff together. I'm hoping we get a story of them moving in on this. Obviously, New Order of Dark Order. I had a great time. I thought it was good.
I'm always happy to see Billy Gunn because he's so happy to be there. There's something enthusiastic about him. He makes you happy.
It's like Taz on the commentary.
Yeah.
So it's time for it to go the other way. I don't like. I didn't like 5 losing to Billy at all. I don't think Billy Gunn should be beating people. Chris Jericho is a bigger star than Billy Gunn's ever been. Matt Hardy is a bigger star than Billy Gunn's ever been. And Matt is about to put Sammy Guevara over, or he better fucking had to. And Chris Jericho just put over the guy who wrestles with his hands in his pockets. Billy should have been putting 5 over.
But the thing is, you have to build up. You still need to...
is just the Young Lions. Sorry, go on, Muir. I'm talking over.
Yeah, it is exactly like that. It's just the Young Lions. That it's somewhere where they're sort of taken their personality away from them, so they can lose, and then they're built up as wrestlers to become a real character again. But the thing is, Billy's not ready to give up his winning streak, while as Dustin and those lot, they're on the main card beating actual characters, while Alan Angels is a jobber. As much as we like him and as good as he is a jobber at the moment. We have to accept that.
No, that's fair. I think it would have been better to have had Austin versus Alan Angels than Billy.
Yeah, I'm with you. That would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense, yeah.
And honestly, I watch Billy sections as just a comedy section for how much a man enjoys wrestling.
Yeah.
And Taz loved him as well.
I sounded like I was being very down on Billy Gunn when I'm saying things like Jericho's a bigger star.
He should have never won that Rumble.
I think that's unfair. I think that he won the King of the Ring.
King of the Ring, sorry.
I think that's a bit unfair actually, because Billy Gunn was a huge star and certainly on the level of both of those.
No, you're right, Morg. Morg, you're allowed to have conviction. It's
no. I think thinking about it rather than my immediate side, because he was part of one of my favourite tag teams of all time. And they were one of the biggest things during the biggest boom period of wrestling. So I think I may have been overstepping my own mark there, but. And this is what the most I have enjoyed watching Billy Gunn since the early New Age Outlaws, and I mean the early New Age Outlaws.
Before they went to DX,
yeah. So maybe that. I think using him in the tag team's better. Anyway,
you're allowed to be down on something, Morg. I do it every week.
8-man tag.
Jesus, 8-man tags. Yeah.
My first comment was heels must win.
Yes.
DD, Christopher Daniels, puts over the Butcher so much. I think he loves fighting with him.
Those two have got chemistry.
Yep.
Haven't they? Private Party are getting better. We loved them at the start, got very critical of them in the third into the good middle. They're getting better and learning to improvise again.
Better. Definitely
Twins
agree with
spinning
you.
over the shoulder DDT cutter thing was fucking wicked.
Mm-hmm.
The match was solid. My only criticism would be, looking back now, is I thought this was the setting up of the breaking up of the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers. So obviously the Lucha Brothers can be back with Pac and have Death Triangle and stop them forming a big faction. Literally, there is no point in this little breakup moment we had than to lead into the Dynamite plot. We've had no other hints of it. It was literally like, oh, will they fall out? But they've been best friends forever. There's a picture of the Butcher holding Phoenix, and the Butcher's written, "This is my son."
But anyway, it led to a good point, so I'm happy with it.
It was all right. Otherwise, good, solid.
Yeah, it was solid. I love, like you said, how Christopher Daniels sells like the Butcher.
It's like the Butcher, like he's a mini boss in a computer game.
And that's the best part. It's how he should be booked. But yeah.
So, what's your overall score for Dark?
We've got some ups and downs. I'd argue it's probably one of those ones where it's better to watch some of the matches. It's like a C. Everything's solid.
Like the first 20, 30 minutes for me were a drag, but then it became quite solid. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
I would say if you were going to watch it, and you can watch them all individually on the channel, I would watch Hobbs versus Spears if you like Spears and a more slower, old school style match. Yep. Watch the Starks promo. Watch the Initiative versus TH2 if you're into flippy shit and a bit more of a spot monkey person. Watch Red Velvet versus Abaddon just because it's Abaddon. Brilliant. Lee Johnson Starks, maybe if you're getting into Starks person. If you're like me and a fucking fanboy. 5 versus Billion, probably the 8-man tag. You can skip half of it. Yeah, like a C. A C with some really good moments, but yeah. You can skip.
So, moving on, we move on now to Dynamite, which we all watched, I'm guessing, this morning, except, did you stay up last night and watch it, Strange?
So I'm a lot better at staying up late than I am at getting up early.
I knew
it. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have watched it, and I'd be sat here going, So I watched this live.
Were you tempted to find the secret hashtag?
Did ponder it, but then it didn't it wasn't obvious enough for me to notice it.
It doesn't come up on. It only comes up on TNT. I think you have to watch.
Talked to Chucky T.
Yeah. We were discussing who we'd talk to. That sounds like a thing for a discussion in the future.
Who would you talk to if you won the special tag thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I know mine. We can do that later.
It'd be Ricky Starks. No, you.
Or Pac. Pac loves Scar music. And I love Scar music.
Just talking to Pac about Scar. I heard you like the specials.
His favourite band from Coventry, where I live.
So Dynamite opens, JR Schiavone and Taz on commentary. We open up with FTR with Tully versus a Private Party. FTR win with the Goodnight Express. What do you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Fast-paced, solid. It was the FTR We Are Heels match that we've been building up to. Oh, look at them, not quite obeying their own rules and using them to mislead people. Scamps. Quen ate a lot of shit.
Yeah.
For the match. But in honesty, pretty good. Like I didn't hate it. I like the pace. I gave it a B. I thought this, and I have been. I say I'm a fan of FTR. They've won me over quite quickly with their wrestling. Maybe not so much the stories and personality. And I've been very critical of Private Party. But no, this was a good match. I enjoyed it. It's a combination of two different styles coming together to sort of mix everything up. I think there was only one wobbly dance I got mad at.
For me, I came into this and saw this come on. I was like, oh no. And then it was like, The start was a tiny bit slow, but then it really picked up, and it was a really good match. I really enjoyed this because I'm normally a detractor of Private Party, but I think they did fantastic to keep this match going because it was such a styles clash for them. But I thought they did really well, especially Isa when he came in from the hot tag. I thought he did particularly well.
He's doing a lot better. He is ungenetting himself.
Yes, he is, 100%. JR was very off-putting for me in this match. He was, very down and old man crotchety, and we didn't have Excalibur to sort of pick it up. So, but otherwise, I gave it a solid B. Yeah, I enjoyed this a lot.
Morg.
B's all round then. It was fast paced. I really enjoyed the fast pace. I thought it really suited. Me and Muir were talking just before you got on, I think, Strange, saying that we think had this been a slower paced match like the Butcher Blade FTR match, Private Party would have struggled. But FTR can easily move up to that fast paced level. They are so versatile.
Vets, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they are now. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. B all round.
Yeah.
Watch that match, audience.
Following on from that, we had a Mox promo. Should we lump these together?
Yeah, but I want to talk about this Mox promo because I think it was his best promo he's done for me personally. I really enjoyed this promo. I liked Down to Earth John. I liked him going, yeah, my wife would tell you a load of shit about me, how I'm a bad person in this and that. I thought that was really good. And I thought he didn't bury MJF. He said he was a little coward and all that shit, but he built him up saying he was a good wrestler. And, I hope he's going to be good in the future because we need someone to carry this company. I thought it was a brilliant promo in building up the other guy, making himself look like this relatable hero that's a bit beaten up and he's going to retire, soon or whatever. I thought it was really good.
I know what it's done. It's ticked on your grizzled old man fucking
old veteran.
Start. Oh, all right, that's why you've got it. Because I wasn't feeling it. I got a bit bored at the start. It picked up at the end with a bit more of the intensity.
I like the old grizzled veteran that's going out for his last battle, though. That's my jam. So he really ticked all my boxes with this one.
No, it makes sense. I know exactly the fucking sort of miserable, realistic Bronze Age Roman stories you want to fucking listen to. No, it makes sense. What about you, Morg? Hi there, welcome to my podcast where I rip on Nick.
What? So
you mean my life?
I thought it was a solid Mox promo. We've generally stopped giving Mox. It has become a regular thing that we don't rate Mox promos, not because we don't rate them. It's because they are usually solid. We probably should start rating them again. To be honest, because we always say that
when I get one that stands out over just sort of good. This was good, but a bit long for me. The one a while back was good, but didn't break that first
the paradigm
break
shift
his own
promo.
boundary. He hasn't gone too shit that I can call it shit, and he hasn't gone to that level again where I can go, that was fucking wicked. He's just doing good Mox things.
It's a solid promo.
Yeah. Followed on from that, we had an MJF promo. What did you think of this? He's MJF, just for if you are a new listener, MJF kind of suffers from the same thing that Mox suffers from. That we have lumped these two together in it's a solid MJF promo. There's a surprise. It's a solid Mox promo. There's a surprise. What did you both think of the MJF promo?
Little long for me. Lost me a bit at times. Funny in places, don't get me wrong.
He was trying to be Ric Flair here, and he's not Ric Flair. That's
what he was trying to do.
That's what it felt like to me, using his dealing and wheeling and dealing to try and get the match easier for himself by faking it. And it was good, but it was just like, this feels like Ric Flair to me. I don't know what you felt, Morg, but that's what it came off as me.
I might be over the being fake injured and campaign thing. I didn't hate it, but go on, Morg.
Now, see, this is the thing. It was a good MJF promo in that it was classic, but I'm a bit bored of the bringing your lawyers in thing. They haven't done it a lot in AEW, so it's not been overplayed. But unfortunately, in wrestling, it has been overplayed. And I always think what I really want out of this is I want Mox to turn around and go, "I'm not fucking signing that." That would be the greatest thing ever, because that would be totally new. With Mox going, "No, what?" Don't be a fucking idiot.
Just don't. I'm just not on board with bringing legal actions into wrestling because there's literally manslaughter attempts and fucking assault weekly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm hoping Morg's right here because so far we've seen that Mox isn't an idiot. We've seen that he's not that stupid babyface that'll just do shit to, because, he's got to fight up. He's the babyface. He's gone he came from the tunnel last week and stuff like that. He's not a dumb character. So it'd be nice for him just go, no, fuck yourself. I'm not signing that shit.
Yeah, and which MJF can then use brilliantly in his, can use, you're not the man of the people thing, and then Mox overcomes the whiny little. They're setting up here to a point where I actually want Mox to win.
I'm sort of interested in Mox winning this now instead of before.
And it's against one of our favourite heels, even though I ripped on MJF. It's such good work from both of them that I'm actually behind the babyface for the right reasons, not just because I like Mox.
I also like smiling Nyla trying to smile in the background with a grimace on. It always makes me laugh. That forced smile just always makes me laugh whenever I see her.
I like the fact you could try at some point she was trying to not really smile, so she was putting a fake smile on.
Yeah.
Was trying to avoid really smiling at the joke, and that made me chuckle. A bit of micro expression observation.
Yeah.
So moving on, we had the Natural Nightmares with Jurassic Express with Marco versus the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade. Jungle Boy wins with a roll up. Before we get to what happened afterwards, what did you think of the match as a match, and what score did you give it?
So my first comment is if my boys lose this match to these geeks.
You see, my first comment is heels will lose for a split.
Yeah, it was obvious, but it was just disappointing,
Yeah, it was solid, good even. I felt it was a bit obvious, so I wasn't that invested in it, and I was like, they'll probably have a good feud. Otherwise, just solid and good. There was a moment where Jungle Boy did a tope suicida at the Butcher and completely missed, but the camera was on them and the Butcher still fell over, and that made me laugh. It's the kind of shit I noticed. Yeah, otherwise it was good. I was content.
Penta looked less chunky.
Did Dustin ate a lot of shit?
There was too much Dustin eating shit. My first comment on it was, this is a nicer way of using Dustin. He's just getting his ass kicked by these younger men, and then it just kept going on. And it was just like, Jesus, let him die, boys.
I want to give a special shout out to that punch of QTs at the beginning, though. That was a thing of fucking beauty, and I'm pretty sure that looked so good because he did just punch him in the face as hard as he could.
I also had a comment of going, I remember the days where the crowd went mental for the diamond cutter. Like, literally everybody would be popped to their feet and QT does a diamond cut and there's no reaction. It's just like, that move was so sacred.
Not many people to react to it.
No, but... and Dustin did an awful destroyer. Awful.
Yeah, he always does an awful destroyer.
That one was worse than normal.
Look, we get the Jungle Boy bounce off the ropes arm drag thing from the corner. Just watch that instead.
Yeah, true. I gave it a solid C plus B. I enjoyed it enough. Yeah.
I don't know if I was invested enough to
really... I'm down with the C for this, as long as I get to rate the next bit higher.
I put C/B.
So C it is, boys.
So following on from this, we had a bit of a fallout from the heel team, and then Eddie Kingston comes out and cuts a promo. What did you think of this? Do you want to give it a rating? Is it that good?
Yes.
I'll
or that bad?
I'm going to pass it on to Muir because, as we all know, I'm a fan of the Eddie Kingston.
I'm
going to let him do the neutral objective. The objective opinion. Go on.
I think it was perfect. I think it was exactly what you needed, even though the only downside of this whole promo was how weak the breakup reason was. Like, the fracturing of the group was the silly part. The actual rebuilding was brilliant. Him just going around each of them going, you're good for this, you're good for this. We should be tag team champions, you guys. You're all great. Why are you fucking around when we could work together and just be tag team champions and watch each other? I thought it was
the
great.
new faction for the Four Horsemen to fight.
Yeah.
I was on board, but that's going to be interesting because I think they're going to be a heel. I was totally on board for Lucha Brothers versus Butcher and the Blade and a Lucha Brothers face turn. I would just say, and I'm sitting there going, but that's not going to work with Death Triangle. And then I was like, ooh, Butcher and the Blade face turn. Yeah, I am on board for that. Then Eddie Kingston came out and cut that promo on us. I am totally on board for this group being back together. That promo was fucking phenomenal. I really enjoyed that promo. I gave it an A. Just through his actual ability to speak.
Eddie earned his paycheck that day. I gave it an A also. I thought it was fantastic.
Awesome. Having, as I said, met Eddie, not like in a cool friends way, but everything he said to us when he was talking about promos and wrestling was try to make it look real, try to make it look like it's a fight, and that's how he speaks. His promo game is you can tell he was so close to and trained Santana and Ortiz from their similar sort of street level promo game.
Yeah.
I'm glad you gave it an A. I am pleased, and I'm excited for this faction to see where it goes, because it technically means they've got a singles, a tag, and a trios team when Pac's back.
As long as Pac joins it, I'm happy. Then they just need Yuka to round it around to the God Girl.
Or are we going to see a Death Triangle, Butcher and the Blade, Eddie Kingston split when Pac comes back and we've got 2 trios matches?
Oh, possible.
Oh, we'll see. Anyway, it's going good.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Britt Baker and Kip and Penelope promo. What did you think? It was short. It was sweet.
I only made one note, and that was Kip's response after Penelope agreed to the makeup deal was legit. When he just sort of went meh, 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 and wandered off. That is what men do when women are like, "Oh, can I do this with makeup?" Yeah, all right. I mean, men who don't wear makeup. Who you want to be.
It was hilarious, and then he just said, "Can we go back to making out afterwards?" What made me pissed.
I just want Kip, but the right was that I've stolen this off the Raptor. I want Kip to turn up with a full makeup job next week.
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he probably would.
If Kip don't give a fuck, he's a champion.
I love Kip. He's wasted on that.
I'm intrigued to see Swole win a 3-on-1 match.
I think it just bury the other two if she wins.
I think it's going to be a 2-on-1.
Yeah, that means
I don't think Reb's going to be in it.
Well, if it's a 2-on-1, it's still burying the 2 that are going to lose if they're trying to push Swole.
Depends how you do it. Swole is supposed to be, her character is supposed to be, she is really built. She's really strong. Both Britt and Penelope, as good as they are both very slender. I mean, neither of them are, they're obviously both fit, but you know what I mean.
Ford in the way, and then Ford would be seen as a champion, as an actual challenger. Britt could go, all right, fight Ford. We go, fuck, she's been really good.
You can have basically what you're going to do is you can have a lot of this being basically it isn't a 2-on-1 match. It's a 1-on-1 match. It's Penelope versus Big Swole. And then every time Penelope manages to get the upper hand, Britt, like the sneaky little heel she is, will come in and do stuff at any time, and
then get injured.
And you can then she is getting a bit Evie, isn't she? Yes, and then you can get that bit. So moving on from that, we had the Orange Cassidy in-ring interview. Where Jericho comes out and challenges Cassidy to a Mimosa Mayhem match. Inner Circle arrive, toast and beat down best friends and Cassidy. What did you think of the segment, and did you give it a score?
God, the
Jericho
Mayhem.
His mind.
I loved it. He built him up so well at that start of that promo. It was great. It was just great.
But isn't this essentially just a match where if you get knocked out the ring, you lose? Or is it a buried alive match with Orange?
Buried alive match.
It's a buried alive match with Bucks Fizz.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is.
Oh God, it is Bucks Fizz. I didn't even think about it. Yeah. I was too concerned trying to figure out what a mimosa was.
It's Bucks Fizz.
Bucks Fizz, mate.
The trailer was ludicrous. I think maybe the section could have been a little bit shorter. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait and see. I laughed, and it was good entertainment. I don't know quite where it falls on the line, but yeah, it was good.
Bollocks, and I loved it.
The Raptor was in hysterics during this. That is my gauge of, because I don't always catch all the comedy, and she's very good at catching the comedy. I thought it was just great. She was in hysterics. It was brilliantly silly. It really suits Jericho's ability to play a serious, hardcore, not hardcore wrestler, but you know what I mean. Legend wrestler who can do comedy and work on. Because everything he did was just completely straight. He played straight man all the way down to, we're going to have a Mimosa Mayhem match. He put it on the same level as my favorite match stipulation, the Money in the Bank, which is basically Judy Bagwell on a pole match, effectively.
Forklift.
Yeah.
What rank are you going to give this section then, boys? Because I didn't rank it because I was unsure of my opinion. What rank am I writing down on my sheet for assessment?
I think the issue with this is that it depends how good the match is afterwards. If this becomes a fantastic match afterwards, this promo is golden. But if it's shit,
it's a fucking real, it's the gravestone.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the promo itself stands. I think I think the promo itself stands. I think it was a B segment to set up. I think if the match fails, and I really don't think it can, because I think you can just, at the very least, I may eat these words later, but this match has got to be a B at the least when they have
as long
it.
As they
it has to
finish.
Just Jericho writhing around in Buck's Fizz. Though the one obvious concern about this is, how are they going to get Hangman out of the big vat of alcohol?
That is a problem. My issue with it is that, the Inner Circle always outnumber whoever they're fighting, so they're just going to, romp it like normal. But hey, anyway, it'll be a B, I think.
Okay, I've written down a B. We're doing quite well, boys. It's a high-ranking show thus far.
So, Dark Order, which was Silver, Reynolds and Angels versus the Elite, Kenny with the Young Bucks. Omega wins with the One-Winged Angel. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Solid.
I have very, very small notes on this.
I was watching it. I said I didn't write many notes because I was just enjoying this match because it was solid.
This match really showed how good Kenny is with everyone.
He's just an amazing wrestler. Like, anybody that says he doesn't have it anymore is an idiot.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
The assisted Indie Taker actually looks badass as opposed to the regular Indie Taker / Melter Driver.
Melter Driver. God.
Yeah, but when he threw Nick Jackson, it looks cool in the middle of the ring with a throwing man. Otherwise, it was solid. I gave it a C. It didn't blow my mind, but everything. This is what a C should be, in my opinion. It was good. I watched all the way through. I cared enough about the story. But I wasn't like, wow,
I think it was, the wrestling was definitely a B in it, but, there was no story, no rhyme or reason to it. So it's a high C or a B for me.
So I went with the wrestling in this because of it's just a match of people thrown together. So I gave it a B.
Okay. Yeah, I can
under our rules with story, I'd have to say it's probably a C/B. So Mr. Strange, make the decision.
I think maybe I was overly judgmental. And although it's my scale, both of you have lent more towards B, which means I'm going to give it the B. It was a good match. Everybody looked good. We got the cleanery section at the end, obviously, for when he joins the Dark Order. Yeah, I'll give it a B. It was good. It just didn't. I suppose it suffers from not standing out, but in either way against a lot of the other stuff we've got on this episode.
There's been a lot of good stuff on this episode. Let's be honest here. I've really enjoyed this show.
So next we had FTR with Tully, quick backstage promo. Hangman comes in. What did you think of the promo? Did you give it a score?
Oh,
I liked this because I thought it was a bit more casual and less foray.
I was neutral on it. I
like the idea of the gauntlet match. I think that's going to be really good fun. That's NJPW style wrestling, and I love that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. But the promo was very
Hangman could drink. We said this last time. The Hangman always being drunk thing could be slowed down a bit, as opposed to walking and going, "Whoa, this one's over now. Another beer."
Yeah.
Don't overplay the character. People aren't as dumb as you think they are, even wrestling fans.
Don't lie.
You're wrong. It was fine for me. It was a C for me. It's what I expect, realistically.
This match has actually paid a little. Well, everything tonight has paid a little to my 4 horsemen prediction, because I made a prediction to the Raptor earlier on, and it's completely gone. There is no way that prediction works anymore. So I had a feeling that it might be a case of Hangman's going to cost them the match and then go off, but I'm not so sure now after this. I've got a feeling this is going to go. This could go either way now.
And that's
I quite enjoyed the promo.
Booking.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the promo. I did it. It wasn't going to get a rank. It wasn't, it wasn't that kind of level. But yeah,
I'm excited to watch the gauntlet match. That's the most thing I got out of this.
Yeah, I am excited for the tag team match at All Out.
Yeah,
as well. Next in, we had Darby Allin versus Will Hobbs. Darby wins with the coffin drop. We'll cut it there. What did you think of the match? What score did you give the match?
Boys on the main show. Good to see Hobbs here.
Oh, mate, wasn't it? Oh, Darby made him look like a beast as well. Darby didn't fucking overdo him.
No.
Hobbs got loads of character work in. It was a squash, but they didn't bitch Hobbs, and we've been becoming Hobbs fanboys. I gave it a C.
I would say it was a reverse squash in a way. Darby got the shit kicked out of him, and then Hobbs, and then he did what his character's supposed to do. That is what a Darby squash match should be. You get the shit kicked out of you, and then you win with the coffin drop out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. I love Will's spinebuster. I like his hashtag of willpower on his back. I think that's a really good little hashtag. Yeah,
I need this. He's fucking wicked.
Yeah,
I don't like him being a heel.
No, he's a baby face. Look at him. He's a big, strong baby face. He should be a superhero. Yeah, he should be a superhero.
So following that, Ricky Starks comes out dressed as Darby, and then Cage blindsides Darby, and then the beatdown.
He did the Turtles meme.
This was top tier, best thing on the show for me. Starks coming out as him, because I just imagined them backstage at the time, just like, Darby, do you mind doing the face makeup on me? Then he comes out just being a dick to him. It's just, I loved it. The Turtles meme, just brilliant.
Starks is gold. I will applaud him like I used to applaud Sean Spears. Everything about him, I love.
Also, I've got a comment from my girlfriend here. Alex does not like vanilla midgets. She does not like Darby Allin.
Oh,
let's go back to the summer of '92. Quiet.
Yeah. I was like, you, Kevin Nash.
I am looking forward to Ricky Starks getting the shit kicked out of him by Darby Allin.
Me too, but I love Starks more.
I am looking forward to seeing Darby Allin's getting the shit kicked out of him.
No, I'm sorry. This is classic. This is good work by Ricky Starks, and that was all in. That was all in credit to Ricky Starks. I'm looking forward to my boy beating the shit out of you for you being such a detestable little shitbag heel.
I love him.
Brilliant.
I love Starks. He's great.
He's emo written down.
He was beautiful.
Oh, he's wonderful.
I gave that an S because I fucking loved it.
I don't think it properly deserves to go into the rank of the episode, but I'm with you. There's just the shit-eating heels. Mwah.
They're my favourite.
Coupled with his little edge of campness and his beautiful just attitude. God, he's great.
He is perfect.
This does pay into our problem, though, because this is one of those situations where the heels cannot win this at the end. No. They must. Because you can't have people who keep blindsiding and
can't have these bullies win. At the end.
You can't have these bullies win at the end.
Well, say that.
More on that later. Yeah. Fair point.
Well, then we had Sammy with the cue cards. Matt does I loved I missed it that Sammy wasn't reading the cue cards, and I got confused for a second, and then suddenly my brain actually woke up and clicked into what was going on.
I loved it.
Sammy's cue cards had been the second I clicked and my brain woke up, I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. Then we had the Matt run in and basically threw Sammy through a table.
Oh, I think Sammy was
match as well.
owed a roughing up by.
Yes, he
Matt.
was, mate. Matt was allowed to be a bit hard on him.
If you watch Sammy's vlog, I think a lot of what we have read on the internet is not true.
Oh.
Sammy's vlog, he made a big joke about having heat and made a big joke about it, and it was you could tell it was all very much like it was a little bit Chucky T meta. It was a bit meta of like, I haven't really got heat backstage for an honest mistake. I've gone and said I'm sorry, you know.
Well, that's what you need to do in this situation. That's all you have to do.
But I thought the beatdown was brilliant by Matt. And Matt looked fucking vicious.
Yeah.
So I tend to criticize wrestling as it's a TV show. That's my snobbery sign. The sign change is a really good misdirect from a story, because we've seen this sign coming for weeks, and he's done it on every break part. It's a standard thing now. So to play with that and make it a section when you think it's the break was really clever. It's actually fucking thinking cinematically. It's thinking in terms of story. Beatdown was great. Sammy eats shit for everybody. I'm really excited.
That's his job.
Mate, nobody takes bumps like Sammy does.
It's great.
I think Matt's going through a table for him.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But
100%.
It's been a great story.
I'm excited for this. And, working that accidental injury, are they sometimes good? We've discussed this in the past.
Yes, they are. As long as the person's not permanently injured and they're back on their feet in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, Matt seems to be okay. And for a guy, an older, inverted commas, wrestler, a veteran wrestler who's obviously taken a lot of bumps, he doesn't seem to be anything more than it was a very nasty cut. So, yeah, I think this has worked. And it's worked to both of them. This has reinvigorated Matt for me.
No, it's good.
Especially this week. So after that, we had the Thunder Rosa promo. We've already mentioned that she's Cobra Moon, and she has challenged Shida for the AEW Women's Championship. What did you think?
Unfortunately, this was the thing that was spoiled for me, so it wasn't such a pop for me, but I was glad to see it still.
Okay.
Nice.
She promoted in English, Japanese, and Spanish. She legit did her challenge to Shida in Japanese because Ruth looked up and translated it for me.
That's brilliant.
She's going to be great. It's a shame we don't know what's going on with NWA Power, because Billy Coogan, crazy conspiracy man that he is, and singer of the Smashing Pumpkins. It's all in like hold about at the moment. It's probably going to collapse. But if this leads to a deal with fucking NWA where we can have their champions versus ours, we'll get to see some of the other talent they've got, like Nick Aldis and stuff. So I'm really excited for the implications of this. I'm excited about a champion from another league coming out, because the AEW expanded universe accepts that other wrestling companies exist.
I could live with Nick Aldis versus Cody again, but I could probably live with Nick Aldis versus Mox,
Mate, wouldn't that be good?
It would be a good match.
So, yeah, the implications of this promo, on top of it being a fucking Dimes promo, and we're probably going to get an ace match, I'm excited. More of this.
So, following on from that, we had the Women's Tag Team Tournament final. We had Diamante and Ivelisse versus the Nightmare Sisters with Dustin and QT. Diamante and Ivelisse win. There were many cheers in our household for that.
Fucking called it.
What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
So I've been saying those two were going to win this since the start. And at the very start of this thing, I did get a little bit of nervous because, my opening comment was Ali and Brandy have got new T-shirts, so they're not splitting because they came out. Yep, it's just how I see it.
Yeah.
Side note, Ruth told me that Ali's hair extensions were really bad and didn't blend at all. Doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm going to pass that on to fashion people. Ivelisse cared today. It was
she did, mate. She actually cared. She tried her best, but,
Ali and Diamante were not so smooth together, and Diamante ate a lot of shit.
Wasn't great either, to be honest. I think Evie was the only one firing on all cylinders in that match.
Crazy ending. It was awkward in places, but it wasn't terrible. Like, I didn't hate it.
It clawed its way up to a C. It clawed.
That's literally what I was about to say.
Yeah.
In fact, my favourite moment of the entire match was when they were getting the trophy and they were given the flowers and they threw them on the floor and fucking snatched their flags and acted gangster. I was like, that's badass.
That was the best part of the match, and it wasn't in the match.
Yeah.
Hurry up and split the inner circle up. I want Ivelisse and Diamante. I want LAX.
Yeah. No, I'm down with that.
She having two blokes and two two male wrestlers and two women's wrestlers. I think that would solid. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a C. It was fine. I think it's a C. It was fine.
I gave it a C. My notes are: you can tell the difference when Ali gets into the ring from when Brandy gets into the ring.
100%.
I love Brandy to bits. I think I genuinely like Brandy. I think she is just an awesome person. She's not. She's just still a little bit sloppy. She's getting better.
She's just not got it. She's had a tour. She's had a tour in Stardom, and she can't wrestle still. There's no hope. I'm sorry, boys.
So, following on that, we had the TNT Championship match: Brody Lee versus Cody. Brody Lee wins with the discus lariat. We'll do the rest of it afterwards. What did you think of the match? And what score did you give it?
Right. Okay. I'm just going to read through my notes in order. So this is literally what went through my head as it began.
Go on, carry on.
Oh, Brody's got a new coat, and it's better. He looks like an anime character. It's an anime character coat. A little bit of shell shading. Please win, Brody.
Yeah.
If Brody had won after these two hoof kicks, I'd have accepted it. What? He just annihilated him. Fuck, I don't know. Yeah. From a technical perspective, the match was solid. There were a lot of good moments. Brody still reading like a maximum beast. We started with the Cody beatdown, and I was like, oh, the Cody beatdown before he comes back. He'll probably bleed.
Yeah. And then come back.
And then Brody won. And I just sort of looked at my screen and went,
this was brilliant. I'm sorry. It was almost the perfect squash to build up Rhodes. It was fantastic.
If I was to assess this on Raw wrestling show, the actual core of the wrestling without the story, it would be a D. It was just a fucking
D.
But the fucking unexpectedness of it, I didn't expect Brody to win. But I thought he might because the Dark Order's quite over. But I assumed Cody was going to hold on to it till a pay-per-view or something.
I expected this to be like the Mox match, when the way they would keep Brody's character over is that you have to virtually kill him, and it would have been Cody and Brody, it'd be back and forward, and Cody would have actually had to try and kill him like in the Mox match. I don't think it's a D though. I don't think.
I think it's an A.
No. I don't think even in that. I think it's a C. It's a C in the view that you were giving, Strange. I think it is a C. I do think it was actually a good match because it was a good squash. It was done correctly. I agree with you, though. It's either a D or an A. Sorry, a C or an A, and I think it's an A. I think it was just so good, and out of nowhere.
Parts of it. Was when Brody was in the ring, outside the ring, and he was like throwing the chairs, and the entire crowd was cowering from him. Yeah, everybody was hiding, which made it look great, like he was just a monster destroying the ring. Brilliant.
I think Brody is now our biggest monster in AEW, and I'm very happy with that.
They've teleported him back up that roster, which is fantastic.
Credibility is back.
Yes, 100%.
After all the bitching I have done as heels man. I was just sat there and I was like, fuck.
What just happened?
Then, following on from that, we had the Dark Order came down and beat down on the Nightmare Family. I commented to the Raptor, they probably should have Brandy out here, covering over Cody. Oh, I was not ready for what they did. This was fucking brilliant. Remember that time they brought the Dark Order out to do the thing with the Elite and it really fell flat on its ass just before Christmas? This was that done right. Punching Arn Anderson, kicking Arn Anderson, and then having then Arn's. Look at that. I mean, Tully is an old guy who looks like he's a little. I mean, he doesn't look frail, but you know what I mean. He looks a little bit. Arn still looks like Arn. He looks like he can take a punch. Arn is not someone you're going to argue with in a pub.
Oh no, I love Arn. I love Double A.
Yeah, he still looks tough as fuck. I think he bumped really well, and I think they looked vicious beating up the old man.
I mean, I am going to just say it is still Cody no mates. Other than Arn, who was there, only Brandy actually came out to help him. They went and got Dustin.
But they'd already beaten Dustin and QT down.
Good.
Nobody ever comes out for Cody. Ever.
Yeah. See, my original prediction was what would happen is that Hangman will go over to the Four Horsemen, and then Sean Spears will probably take the TNT Championship off Cody, because that would make storyline sense, and you'd have our turn.
That happens now, Morg.
That was my original thought. Now, and then Cody would, and if it wasn't, or Cody would turn and join the Four Horsemen, whichever variation of it, that didn't make sense. But then you see Cody would go back into being the fourth man in the 4-man elite, and that would give them a 4-man elite to go up against the Four Horsemen. Now, I haven't got a fucking clue.
Which is the best way for
I haven't got a Scooby.
If I had to give a criticism, I would say that we lost a bit of the big pop at the end, because obviously it's hard to.
Long,
yeah, it went on a bit too long. That we could have had an extra couple of minutes of match, maybe another 30 seconds. When Nick was watching this morning, and I was waiting for him to watch it, and Ruth was talking to me, and I was like, I'm going for a poop. And on the way to the loo, Nick went, I'm starting to watch this. And when I got up, he had finished watching it. That hitting with the old belt, brilliant. Just choking Brandy, brilliant. Just maybe could have been a bit shorter, so we could have had a bigger pop to the end of the episode. Maybe Brody next to the camera screaming, especially, or something. I don't know. But that would be my.
I think they could have they could have possibly speeded the beatdown up. They should have brought maybe as soon as the match is over, drag QT, and
they could have been dragged in with the.
They should have been dragged in as soon as Brody won, and then. But see, they did the stretchering out gimmick, and me and the Raptor were saying that we don't mind that because they've not overdone it on AEW.
Yeah.
I wanted him to go into the ambulance
which stretchering out gimmick are they doing? Oh, they're going to do that one.
Yeah.
And then they punched on, and I was like, oh, this just got dark. And then Brandy came out. We then said, maybe they can have Brandy being dragged out. And Raptor went, by Ali, and have Ali join the dark. That would have been interesting. But having her come out, and I was like, oh no, Anna Jay, and then having her come out, and then Anna Jay beat her down. I really liked it. The dropping the bits of the belt on Cody, I thought were good. I thought it was a great ending. The only thing I am sad about is we are probably going to lose the TNT Open Challenge.
Oh yeah, that's gone now, sadly. Yeah. But we built up a giant heel from it, so it's
their real staff are coming back, so they don't need to hire indie wrestlers every other week.
No,
sounds harsh, but
it's how it is. We can actually start getting back to more organization and
more.
But
I could deal with Mil Mortez versus
yes, mate,
Brody Lee.
Mate, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
I love Mil.
If you don't know who Mil Muertes was, go and watch Lucha Underground. But he's a big guy who can go like Brody, and that would
for his age, he's fantastic at going.
I mean, I think my perfect is the Wardlow face turn, and Wardlow to become the monster. I think Wardlow's my one. I want to become the monster baby face. I think I can get behind.
He's got
Wardlow.
A very friendly face.
He does. Yeah.
He's got an adorable look.
He looks like Triss. It looks like our friend Triss. Yes, our friend Triss does look fairly scary.
How do you think this show came off then? What rating would you give it?
Well, we've given it. Go on, go with your estimations.
I think it's going to be a high B or an A.
I think
it's been a really good one.
I don't think we can tot this up through the scores. I think if we tot it up through the scores, it'll be a B. But I think it was an A.
Wrong. We've got 3 Bs. 4 C's and 2 A's. And those B's cancel out the C's, and that A definitely cancels out the C, which gives us an A left. It's an A-ranked episode, boys.
Oh, there we go then.
Like
I have like a little alphabetical maths, isn't that just algebra?
That's just algebra, mate.
Just algebra, mate.
I jot down the differences on next to my notes so that I can do the add up. But yeah, I think overall it felt like an A. This felt like a pay-per-view.
I think they were counter programming. We've got to bring that up. They were counter programming NXT takeover. So I imagine that's why it was so over. It was so heavily booked.
This felt like the start of season 3.
What, when the bad guys take over and the new threat level is raised up? Yeah.
Eddie built a new faction. Women's tournament is over, so that will lead into something else. Hopefully. It feels like the concluding episode of season 2. When did we start season 2? What was the season 2 start?
That was back like when Corona started. I said.
Yeah, that was when FTR. That was when FTR arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on season 3, boys. In my opinion, anyway.
I think that was like I think that was your low point. That was your low point of the second half. The second stage of the film. Yeah, it was really good.
It's the hero's journey, destruction, and revelation.
Yes, mate.
So there you have it. Dynamite this week. I think we pretty much say go and watch it.
Yeah, really good episode. Like, but paradigms broken.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you can pay to watch. I believe you can watch it on ITV.
You can watch it on ITV.
You can watch AEW on ITV. If not, if you fancy giving them a bit more support, you can get Fight TV, and I think it's £6.
It's £4.
Yeah, it's £4 a month, and you get Dynamite, all the Dynamites.
Don't watch it on ITV. Apparently there's editing and bad timing. Just go get a Fight account. It's £1 a week. It's good. You'll love it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
That is specifically so. Moving on. Excuse me. Now on to our questions. Unfortunately, we don't have any questions this week. Unless either
we do have new listeners. No, nobody messages me. I just shit talk on Twitter.
Do you want to shout out to the new listener?
Hello, new listener. You know who you are. You messaged me. Please make other new listeners. If you have any questions you'd like to hear us discuss, or things you'd like us to do, you have suggested we do like a watch along at some point, so you can hear us shouting abuse at them. Please do send in those questions. And I'm going to pass back to Morg now because he has the rest of the question.
Deal.
So, yeah,
it's
if you want to get a message to us, you want us to book something for you, would like to find something for us to discuss, give Strange something to be angry about, or something you'd like us to rant about, then you can contact us on wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. If you go on Twitter, you will probably be responded to by Mr. Strange. If you go on Facebook, you will probably be responded to by myself or the Raptor. And if you email on Gmail, you'll be probably ignored by me.
Good work.
At least you're honest.
You've got to give that one to Muir, then we've got one each.
Well, it's the Gmail one.
To
be honest, the Gmail one is normally people sending us actual questions that don't require a response.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, fair.
So, normally this would be the point of the week where Mr. Strange would get angry about something. Unfortunately, you didn't have anything to get angry about this week, did you?
Not really.
No, mate. Even if I had something to get angry about, I think the Brody match would have blown all anger out of my mind in shock and
the
surprise.
Eddie Kingston promo.
Yes, mate.
Fair.
So instead,
go on, take over.
So instead, we occasionally, when we have no anger and stuff, we have booking on the fly, where we give Morg a challenge, and it's his job to book the person we've come up with in a convincing or entertaining way. He is our probably the best on the fly booker in our team. Normally, we give him 2, an easy one and a hard one, a man and a woman, but you only have 1 today, Morg. But there is a bonus points section that I didn't tell Muir about.
Okay, let's hear it. Go on.
So we have given you the booking that was rumored in the fake spoilers from last week. We have given you Eric Rowan to AEW. However, you will get bonus points if you can book him successfully with a cage that contains a giant spider.
Okay.
Or it can contain anything, because the giant spider was put on the last moment. So let him have anything in the cage.
Okay. His gimmick must involve the creepy cage that he carried. There we are.
Yep.
During this time,
I thought you were going to tell me how to keep him away from. Right. Okay. Yeah. Go. I have a think.
During this time, me and Nick normally discuss something stupid we've come up with, like the Chads. We didn't come up with one between us prepared for this one. So unless you've got something, Nick, I have something ready.
Mate. What we going
for? So coming soon is the breakup of Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, where Kenny is hinting at going back to his cleaner gimmick.
So excited.
How do we make Kenny's cleaner gimmick actually be a cleaner?
Oh, okay. Right. So we're gonna make him actually clean things up. Is he clean? What league is he gonna clean up? Maybe we could book him into actually doing his job with the women's thing, where he cleans up the women's league and makes it good.
No, not actually. I want to see him mopping floors and wiping down tables, basically.
Okay, so you want it to be like a KP, like sort of.
Yeah, or a pub cleaner. He can hoover up, you know.
Okay.
So he's going to break up with Hangman. Obviously, he's the more angry one here we've seen with him. Now, I think we can tie this anger and his hatred, which is coming through, to things just not being done properly.
I think he loses his job, mate. I think he loses the EEP job from being too aggressive, so he has to become a janitor on the staff, and he's an actual cleaner of the stadium.
They're trying to get rid of him because he gets sued or whatever for doing over Marco or something.
Yeah.
But obviously, they can't properly get rid of him because he's too in. He's too done. So
fucking Omega, you can't get rid of him.
So his good friend Big Shad. A secondary job still in the arena. Where he's a cleaner, but he's still fucking Kenny Omega. He's still ripped as shit, which can lead to essentially our sub-hardcore division.
Oh, so Boiler Room Brawls, but with Kenny Omega because he's. Yeah, no, I'm down with this.
It actually begins in the bar one day when Kenny is polishing some glasses. When you have to take out all the trays and do all the shelves.
Yes,
and his old tag team partner Hangman Page comes in, and Hangman's eating those free nuts at the bar, and he just knocks them on the floor,
right in front of him, like a cat,
looking at him. Like a cat in him. And Kenny, who's been beaten down for a while, people have been talking down to him. It's out his little dustbuster. Wanders round to hoover it up, but then just jams Hangman in the face. Then we get a cleaning-based equipment versus barroom fight, and Hangman might be one of the Horsemen now. But he's not. He's not Kenny Omega, and he's not a hardcore master. He's never been to DDT. Oh God, one at a time, the Horsemen can come to fight Kenny as he's cleaning around the arena.
What's happened? No. What happens is they're fighting, and then they bump into a janitor that's working there. But this guy looks pretty buff. He's got a hat on funny, and he's got this really awful sort of black hair coming down, and it turns around, and it's Kota Ibushi just cleaning with him. And then it's a tag team match. It's those two versus the Horsemen.
Just hang on. Have you just pitched me the Golden Lovers versus FTR?
Yes, but
through the medium of them both being janitors.
Yes.
And wherever they go, you can have scenes where they're out by the pool fishing things up, and then Jericho comes out and breaks a bottle. Then suddenly you have to deal with the incredibly angry hardcore cleaners.
Golden Lover Cleaner team.
The Golden Cleaners.
Yeah.
The Clean Lovers.
That's what I would book.
Clean Lovers.
Clean Lovers.
You ready, Morg?
Ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
So
that was not bad for an improv one.
That was good. That was very good. So Brody Lee is now our TNT champion, and obviously, as such, he is going to be going on a tear, and he's going through all of them. So all the baby faces are going to have to go down, which means we can have great matches with people like Kenny, Hangman, Darby. But we need him to be going through all of them. We are keeping him away from anyone like Luchasaurus. It needs to be kept away from anyone like that. So none of the big face. So he's kept away from our new babyface Wardlow. He's kept away from the Chads, your Chadley Man Meat faction.
I'm gonna have to write down our expanded universe.
Yeah, this is part of the AEW expanded universe. So he's kept away from all of them. Now, I'm going to keep the TNT Open Challenge in it because I like it and I think it's good. And I actually think Brody is a good enough wrestler to be able to keep that up. But we're going to have, as I say, more higher profile people come up against him. And people like Kenny, and they're going to not win. We can have a couple of these on Dark when Dark returns back to being the Dark matches like it used to. And this can also partially be the sort of the main event of Dark, which of our main event stars is going to come out and face Brody Lee this week. They can take him to the wire, but they can never beat him. If you've got somebody important that you need to protect, like Kenny or Hangman, you can have Dark Order getting involved. And all the way through this Dark Order. And we're also going to swell the ranks of the Dark Order a little bit. Just some more random people. We're going to bring back a couple of the Creepers.
Young Lions.
Yeah, a couple of the Young Lions. So during all of this, and then, so we know that they've got on BTE, the first set of this, I'm going to break our rule about having, because BTE is kind of, they're going to BTE, and they're going to go in, and it's going to be Silver and Reynolds, and they're going to go into their little bar thing to try and, get somebody to drink some Kool-Aid, and just on the back on that bar, there's going to be a cage with like a black thing over it.
Oh.
And they're going to go up and they go, what's this? I know. Let's feed it some Kool-Aid. So they open it up, and then we can have them two screaming, running out of the room, and we have Brody Lee come in, turns around, takes one look at this cage, and we can close up his face, and we know he's good at doing crazy eyes, and we can have him do the crazy eyes and looking really nervous. He goes over and he smashes the cage. It flies over. It lands on the floor. The cloth that's over it flies off. There's nothing in it.
Oh.
So we go on. So the next time we have a match, we have another match. So Brody Lee is facing off against, let's give him, Ricky Starks has come out and challenged. It just needs to be a person. They've had a good match. Yeah. They've had a good match and what have you. And it comes out to the end, and you cut to the end. Brody wins, and he's walking backstage, and again, just sat at the top of the entranceway, just as he's going through, you see him look down, and he turns around, grabs again this cage off the floor, and just throws it back behind him onto the rampway. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Now, obviously, at home, you're pretty much on board and you know exactly what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah.
You're in on this. This is all about the build-up to the actual reveal. So you set up, and you do all this type of thing, and then you start getting messages getting left, and it just says cage match. And they keep going in. It's cage match, and the Dark Order keep finding it, and then you find so you start finding random members of the Dark Order, these new Young Lions, the new Creepers, just lying around or hooked up on walls, almost sort of meat hook style. But actually just through the back of their jacket. So we're looking for a bit of a horror story here, and just scrawled across, masks ripped, torn, sort of Wolverine claw style across them. And again, they've got just bits of paper, or they've got it written across their chest or written across the mat, cage match. Now, the first thing that they actually do is they actually think it's Brian Cage. That's what their first thought is.
Yeah, makes sense.
They think it's Brian Cage, and this is our expanded universe where Brian Cage has turned face. So they start targeting the Chads, and they start targeting. Obviously, John Silver hasn't joined the Chads, I'm afraid, because we need him for his comedy abilities. So they start targeting Brian Cage. he doesn't quite get the job done, but this is the first time that Brody Lee's coming up against one of these monster baby faces that we've managed to keep him away from. So he's looked like a destructive force. If the worst comes to the worst, like I say, we can just use the rest of the Dark Order to win the match. And, so you've had your match, Cage, at which point members of the Dark Order, as soon as Brody Lee has won and he's standing victorious, holding the title up above him, and he's got his back to the entrance, we just see members of the Dark Order, these jobbers, just come flying out from behind, and then walking out, tall, bald, with his big ginger beard, holding the Cage at his side, is Rowan. And he just walks up to Brody Lee, as Brody Lee just turns slowly, and we can get a nice close-up of, again, those wild, and he can do his old crazy eyes. And you bring him in, and he walks up, and they stand face to face, nose to nose. They both nod and shake hands. And Rowan comes in and joins the Dark Order to give them, because he's just wheedled out all these useless members of the Dark Order. Cool. He's just been getting rid of them.
Become like an enforcer, basically, keeping them up.
And you have him join up with him, and that's how I would bring him in.
That's wicked. I like it.
Also, it's the top tier of Pokemon then.
Yeah. He's the highest level of the bold
You got 5 to John Silver, to Stu Grayson, to Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got that. They'll look really good in it if they stand in a line.
Yeah, they will. Wicked, badass. Like good work, Morg.
That was good.
I'm glad you got the Cage in, because I was like, it was me being a twat.
That's what the fun is.
Yeah. Well, it was all this. It was the setup. It's the setup. So, moving on from that, Mr. Muir, this is the point where we have a little chat and a little bit of a discussion about something wrestling or AEW related. Mr. Muir normally comes up with our discussion. What have you got for us this week, sir?
This one is mostly done on the hilarity of what's been happening in wrestling. So, because of the coronavirus, obviously you haven't had crowds and stuff. So this is a thing that started in like NBA and stuff like that, and I think it's probably one of the most ridiculous things there is. It's virtual fans Skyping in from on like Zoom and stuff to go onto the show. And like, what's your thoughts on it? Would you rather the wrestling was just at the 10 to 15% capacity, like they're going to be doing at Daly's place next week, or what do you think of it? Basically, that's my discussion point.
I have 2 feelings, which I'm going to go with. One,
hate and anger. Those are your 2 feelings.
Okay, I have 2 opinions on this.
Now you missed his third one, disappointment.
Yeah.
So, because I was reading up on this, because the Dub Z is doing it, and they're putting up all the Zoom screens in the background, and I was like, people are gonna do shit on those screens. You can't trust people. Mate, I'd be in fucking 4chan joke shirts trying to cause shit, and I'm quite a nice person.
You'd imagine that there's going to be Chris Benoit shirts, this sort of stuff. But the first comment was, "Which is the first person to get naked on this Zoom thing?" It's just asking.
The problem is, when you sign to agree with the WWE, you also sign that any legal action that is taken against them or fines they suffer from the network will be passed on to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's clever.
And how many people are reading all that, though? They're just going to go, accept. And then some guy's going to get a Kekistan flag out and wave it about in the background, or play.
You get a fine for, like, say, a Chris Benoit shirt, surely.
They're not allowed. They're on the list. Apparently can't wear Macho Man or Hulk Hogan shirts either for some reason.
No,
what's Macho Man do?
They don't like Macho Man. Mainly because he never came back.
Because he slept with Stephanie.
Well, that's the rumour, but...
Allegedly.
But it's more that he never came back and said WWE is the best, like Hogan did after all this.
Fuck off, Vince.
What's
Hogan shirts banned then?
I don't know, because Hogan was a racist. Well, is a racist, but
Yeah, well... On the opening things back up stage, the Data's Place limited to 12 people in a pod, if I recall.
Something like that, yeah, mate.
I've seen Tony Khan getting a lot of shit for this. People saying it's not safe yet, oh, you're going to compromise things. And Tony Khan has particularly gone after tickets with scalpers to stop them buying tickets and selling them out to people who don't know each other and can't interact with each other. Yeah, shouldn't be breaking the things. I'm going to be that guy who goes on the other side of the fence, the typical thing. We can only stop life for so long.
I 100% agree with you here on this.
And I'm going to go see me, who lives in Coventry, is going to, and with Muir, who lives in Nuneaton.
Yeah.
And Jay, who lives in Birmingham, are going to go down to Shrewsbury to see Morgan the Raptor to watch some wrestling together. And that's like 6 of us in a house watching wrestling. Most of you people who are listening to this will watch wrestling with each other. Some of you are getting together to have little chats with your family. People want to see their fucking parents. 12 people in a pod separated from the other people about is not going to cause the continued downfall of civilization.
100% agree with that. You just need to be adults about it. Wear your masks, keep together, keep away from other people, but enjoy yourself,
I mean, I do kind of wish they were doing more of the Zoom videos because it's hilarious.
Have you seen how bad quality it looks, though? It's awful. And they're so distracting. That's the biggest issue for me, is those bright white backgrounds that they've got on all these people's rooms, because most rooms are white. So you're just looking at this crowd of people instead of the wrestling. It's madness to me.
Oh, Morg, what's your opinion on this? Or are you on with the world should go on?
I'm kind of with you. Just be sensible. I mean, what we just said about us getting together. We know our household's safe. I will be tested, not tested, but I'll be temp tested at work every day.
Yeah.
Because I am every day. I get temperature tested as soon as I go into work first thing in the morning. If I have any temperature, not allowed. We all know that we're not having any other social interaction. The circle of people that are meeting are only having social interaction with each other anyway.
Yeah, I see Jay and Finch on top of Muir and soon you guys. It's not exactly like we're
not social animals. Let's be honest here, boys.
Yeah, I've seen 2 other of our friends.
Yeah.
Who are also fairly isolated and only see other people, and it's at that point now. One of you's feeling ill, you don't go.
Just be sensible.
You just be sensible. I'm down with the idea of the 12-person pods, and with Tony Khan trying his best to keep it as tight as possible, not let ticket scalpers manage to pull anything off or ruin it. Don't be a dick. Don't buy from ticket scalpers. It's not going to be good for your health.
No.
There's no point. There is going to be enough tickets, I think. I've really enjoyed having the wrestlers watch it. I think that's been good, and AEW has been very much saved by
Austin Gunn,
and Billy Gunn,
crowd.
To be fair,
no.
the 2-man crowd. Billy, as an old veteran, who will still sit there and mark out and say all the right things that fans said. He has played a mark, for these past few weeks, and has been absolutely brilliant. Him and Austin. Austin is just Austin, who holds everybody's jacket for them.
Yeah, he's just amazing.
The person who gives Sammy so much shit, but if you notice, is the person that Sammy trusts with his phone for doing the filming for his blog. For his vlog. If you watch Sammy's vlog, it's always Austin who's got his phone.
Yeah.
When Austin gets his push in the second show, I have been waiting for a face I can really get behind, and having him as twattish face it's possibly the most joy I can have. All the dumb shit and mocking he does. I love him.
He's just American Pentagon when Pentagon's on his head.
What I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so this is what they're doing for All Out.
Yes.
It's what they're doing for All Out and for the show from the 27th, I think, is when the next airing is. I think it's Thursday.
I think the only the only small problem I think you're going to have, and I don't think it's going to hurt too much, because as long as you keep that thing where you have the wrestlers down by the actual ringside, which I think will be very strong thing.
That's how it's going to be,
because they give you that, you're going to get a little bit more noise, so it's going to add a bit more to it. Somewhere as big as Daly's place, obviously you've got a problem is you can have people far too far away, and so you won't even hear the crowd reaction, but you'll get some crowd reaction, and you'll get some crowd reaction. We'll get some real crowd reaction of how fans actually feel
about the show.
Not just, so we might find out that, oh shit, MJF needs to actually turn face. Well, Cody's now getting booed all the time. People have got bored. The things we don't know. Oh my god, Orange Cassidy is so over, it's unreal. I think everyone is just going to get cheered because people haven't got to see a wrestling show for ages.
Yeah, we've been fucking
starved.
And I think it'll help AEW, because I think because it's in a local area, it's in Jacksonville. You are going to get that old school ECW rabid fan feel.
Is that where ECW was as well?
No, ECW was in
Chicago.
No,
for Chicago.
No, it's oh god, it's
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it begins with a P. It's gone.
Philadelphia,
Philly. Yeah. ECW's in Philly.
Philadelphia.
They were born and raised.
Oh god!
In a bingo hall was where they spent most of their days.
No, I briefly dated a girl from Philadelphia.
Come on, get back on track.
But yeah, the old rabid ECW fans. Jacksonville, I think, is a wrestling town. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's area. Yeah, I think it is a wrestling town area.
I think it's mostly the best part of it for me is how seethed Vince is going to be. Vince is going to be seething that he wasn't the first one to get fans in. It has to have these weird virtual fans. He's going to be so angry.
Especially after he gave them the ability to film and record.
Yes,
he gave them the ability to. He will play up the we're doing it much more safe. I think WWE will do we're doing it much more safely card. We're not letting people get together. They'll
Sloppy Shop, the one that caused an outbreak in their own thing.
Yeah, they're
going to be the safe ones.
What a poopy parlor.
Yeah.
Who would run a shop so sloppy?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If Zoom things were not censored and people were allowed to be as degenerate and awful as they wanted on their little Zoom screen, I'd probably enjoy that more. But that's just because I enjoy watching the horrors that is humanity.
I would love that also. I think a wrestling show
we wouldn't be watching the wrestling. Our discussion would be, did you see the girl on the third row with her tits out?
Yes,
yeah, exactly. But, anyway.
Can you believe that mad lad who just repeatedly showed gifs of Snitsky kicking a baby?
Yeah, I thought you looked a lot like you, Strange.
That is
Snitsky did nothing wrong.
He did do nothing wrong. He was the baby face.
It wasn't his fault.
Oh, you beat me to it. Right.
Oh, God, wrestling. Brilliant.
There you have it. That's our thoughts on the virtual fans and what we think. What do you think? Feel free to get in touch. I'd like to say thank you to Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us on Wrestleopinionated on Spotify. We are Wrestleopinionated on Anchor.fm. We are Wrestleopinionated on YouTube. Mr. Muir.
We've said before, please send us stuff. Feel free to. We'll most likely discuss it on the show, and you can get your opinions heard or whatever you want to say to us at wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. And thank you, and have a good time and stay safe out there. On to you, Strange.
Please do like, share, subscribe, click any of the little relevant buttons. We don't know what they all do, but any sharing is more likely will be seen. As Muir said, get in touch. I'll always be on Twitter to respond. Click the little like, click the share, click the whatever the one is on Spotify, which gives up the rankings. And thank you very much for listening. Back to Morg.
So all that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.